Hello, children. Welcome back to Mimi's Fun Time. Today we're going to read another book. So come on in, sit down, around, and let me read you a story. Today I'm going to be reading The Sleeping Beauty. Here we go. Once upon a time, there lived a king and queen who wanted a child more than anything in the world. After many wishful years, the queen at last gave birth to a little daughter. The king invited all the people to a great party, and the queen asked 7 fairies to be the baby girl's godmothers. Each fairy was to give the new princess a magical gift. But there was another fairy, a very old fairy, whom the queen had forgotten to invite. This fairy appeared at the party. She was angry at having been forgotten, so the queen apologized and quickly ordered a place set for her. The young fairy who sat beside her had heard the evil fairy muttering to herself. She had hid behind the curtains in case the old fairy caused some mischief. The time came for the godmothers to give their gifts. The first fairy gave the baby beauty. The second gave her the gift of goodness. The 4 more fairies followed with more wonderful gifts. Then the old fairy stepped forward. She was still angry at being forgotten by the queen. A curse I give this princess. On her 16th birthday, she will prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and she will die. Such an evil old fairy. Everyone shook with fear at the terrible curse, but the last fairy stepped out from her hiding place. I cannot take away this curse, she said, but I can soften it. The princess will not die when the spindle pricks her finger. Instead, she will fall into a deep sleep that will end with the kiss of a prince. The king wanted to save his daughter from this curse, so he ordered all spinning wheels in his kingdom destroyed. Years later, on her 16th birthday, the princess was exploring the castle. At the top of the tallest tower, she came upon a little room where an old woman sat spinning thread. The princess, who had never seen anyone spin before, asked the woman if she could try. But as soon as she started to spin, she pricked her finger on the spindle and fell into a deep sleep. No one in the kingdom could wake the sleeping beauty. When the 7th fairy heard that the curse had come to pass, she flew to the kingdom. She touched everyone in the castle with her magic wand. Everyone she touched fell fast asleep, and she would not awaken until the prince's eyes opened. Then she grew a magical forest of thorny trees around the castle to protect it. Many years passed. People forgot the castle hidden in the woods. One day, a prince noticed a tower above the trees. He asked many people about the strange castle until he learned the story of the Sleeping Beauty. The prince decided to rescue the princess. He was all ready to cut his way through the thorny forest, but the trees parted magically to make a path for him. The prince bravely entered the castle's open door. Everywhere he looked, he saw people sleeping soundly. The prince searched through the castle until he found the princess. At the sight of her, he leaned down and kissed her cheek. The princess opened her eyes, seeing the young man. The princess smiled and asked, "Is it you, my prince?" The prince told her that he had come to save her. The two spoke for a long time, though they were so excited and happy that their words made little sense. They were interrupted by a great cheer. The whole castle was now awake. The king called for a great celebration. The princess and her prince were married, and their life together was even happier than they had dreamed possible. The end. Thank you for joining me, and I hope everybody enjoyed this little story. And catch me next time to find out what book I'm going to be reading next.